We're near the home stretch here for the 30th annual Regional Radio Sports Network and Indiana Football Digest Northern Indiana High School Football Kickoff Classic here from Beef Brady's in Granger. And we're happy to be joined by head coach for the Concord Minutemen, Koehler. And Coach, great to see you as always. You enter your 8th season here with the Minutemen, and just go ahead and tell us what you like about the team during workouts as you guys get ready for Elkhart next week.
Yeah, it's a little bit different situation than last year. You know, last year we had quite a bit of production returning. We had some 3 and 4. We actually had a couple 4-year starters returning. So, you know, we were not going to fly under the radar last year. I think people outside of our program expected us to be competitive and expected us to potentially be competing for championships, and we were fortunate to win the league last year, but you know, then we did not perform well in the postseason. So it's different this year. You know, we've lost all of our passing game production is gone. The quarterback, all the guys catching it are all gone. So you know, we're going to start a sophomore quarterback. We're going to have new people catching the ball. We do return our running back, and we feel like we have another good running back to go along with him. We have a few offensive linemen back, so we think we hope we can run the ball. But I'm anxious to see how some of these players that it's now their turn, who have been sitting behind some good players, now they're going to get their opportunity. We believe they're good players. Athletically, they look the part, but they have not been in the fire yet. And you know, they're going to be here in 8 days. So I don't know what outside of our organization the expectation level is for us, which from an internal standpoint, that makes it kind of fun. You know, like, hey, let's see how this thing pieces together and see if we can be in position to compete for championships again.
Yeah, and you talked about kind of those key losses. You know, Hunter Dutton, a really good quarterback for you guys last year, and then of course a Kultokian at that linebacker spot, a really, really impressive player that was fun to watch, one of the best in all this northern part of Indiana, maybe even in the state. But as you said, you talked about that experience coming back at a couple linebacker spots, you know, and his brother and Armin Kultokian, and then Makai Hall. Those are some key players that are coming back. Tell us just a couple other players that you think have really stepped up and who you expect to kind of help build this program to continue on that Concord tradition that I know that you have an expectation for.
Yeah, I think we have some really nice pieces. You know, I think I believe our 2 corners as a tandem are as talented and as good as anyone around. Deshaun Emerson and Juan Ross, they're both long. They both can run. They both have pretty good lateral quickness and good hips. I think we're good at corner. I think we're going to be very good at linebacker again. The Hackworth kid, Titus, is going to have to play some defense, but we have some guys that can also spell him on defense, and Joseph Moon, who is going to replace Zavin at our field linebacker spot, was the sectional champion in the 100-meter dash last year in the sectional. He has had a good camp. I think we have some athletic defensive ends that were not starters last year that were probably people aren't aware of. So we like our defense, but we got to see if we can hold up physically. You know, our team speed defensively is better than it was last year. I don't know if we're as physical as we were last year. Offensively, you know, it's you know, these guys that are going to be catching the ball look the part. I think we can run. Our ball skills are good enough. A lot of it's, you know, we got to see how this sophomore quarterback responds to getting thrown in the fire, and you know, a lot of that is on us. You know, we have to do a good job as a staff of putting him in good situations, because it is going to be faster. There is going to be an adjustment period, and we can't expect him to go out and perform like a a returning starter like we had last year, who could make most of the throws. He has steadily improved through the summer, and seems to be getting better each day in terms of how he's performing in practice. But as we all know, practice is not the Elkhart Lions, and
yeah.
they're going to have some really good players that he's going to be competing against. So we have to do a good job as a staff to make sure we're putting him in situations that he can be successful in.
Yeah, and you perfectly tied into my final question, which is that's who you guys open up with against Elkhart. Of course, you know, with school, they're big. They got a good team. I think they're going to do some good things next year, especially with their new head coach and Coach St. Louis. What do you guys think is going to be the key aspect in that game in order for the Minutemen to start off the 2022 season 1-0?
Yeah, that is a loaded question. The early part of the game, I think, will be telling, because they certainly have more returning experience than what we will have, and how we settle into the game and kind of get our feet underneath us and adjust to that environment, because we're gonna scrimmage tomorrow, but it is not going to be the same environment. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's a game in Elkhart County of two really good programs with a lot of interest in the community. There's going to be a lot of people there. With that comes a lot of new variables for players that have never been in that kind of environment. So I think early in the game is going to be really, really critical for us. Can we get our feet under us and settle into the speed of the game, and settle in and get to a place where we feel like we're competing, and then obviously we can't be in a situation where we're turning the ball over against them. They're very, very talented, and that'll play a major factor. Hopefully special teams will play as well. We like our kicker. He's a returning all-state player, so hopefully special teams will play as well.
Once again, that's Craig Koehler, the head coach for the Concord Minutemen. Coach, as always, great seeing you. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, we really appreciate everything you guys do for high school sports and for us and our program. So,
we
appreciate you guys.
We appreciate the compliment. Best of luck in the 2022 season.
Thanks.